I don't know if the song cycled through twice because I couldn't hear it this time. So we're just going to potentially cut it off mid-beat. I don't know. We'll see what happened. I'll have to go back and watch the recording of this just to know whether I timed that well or not. And I suspect I probably didn't. I also have just realised something. I don't know. Here's a question. Gang. Did I set up the other screen so that we could actually see what was happening? Did I set that up or did I not set that up? Because there's a chance I didn't set it up. In which case we won't be able to see what's going on. Alright, this is going to be interesting. Because we've got a lot to look at today, right? We've got a lot to look at. The cause of today's discomfort, Gotti, was wine and Prosecco. Because it was our wedding anniversary yesterday. So we cooked a nice meal, drank too much, and now I'm struggling. The giant bottle has made a return, obviously. Sorry, the normal size bottle has made a return. But, hello, Ogrin Mod. Hello, Gur. Hello, Gotti. Hello, Sindri. Hello, Tim. Hello, the real Sussex Matt. That implies that there's a fake one around somewhere. Also, Lunch Break Painter and Keith Moore. Saw you early. Chris Barrett. Yeah, I hope you're all good. We've got a lot to look at. This is gonna... I'm not going to jump to any conclusions. I've seen the Cities of Sigmar thing. I've been trying to, like, not spoil myself. I've been trying to wait until this morning to take a proper look at any of this. I did see something from the Cities of Sigmar just being spammed all over the shop. So I couldn't avoid that one. Luckily, because old Mr. Musk is an actual genius, Twitter's been borderline unusable for a couple of days. So that has helped with not seeing spoilers, because no one can post anything. And if they do post something, people can't read it or see it. So, you know, swings and roundabouts. Some would argue extreme incompetence. Some would argue that. But you know what? Maybe he was just trying to stop me from getting spoiled too heavily on what was revealed. Maybe that's what it's all about. I don't know. I don't know how his brain works. He's, you know, 4D chess, galaxy brain, so could be that. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell, isn't it, with these people? Okay, should we switch over and have a look, and we'll see. This is going to be the first time where we see whether I've set this up or not, because I don't think I have. No. Right. Give me one moment, because I've done a silly here. Because that should actually be that. There we go. Look at that. Fixed it straight away. Fixed it immediately. You will all be happy to know that as far as I can tell, on Friday we fixed the super chat thing. So if you do a super chat, it should be read out loud. Whether it's going to happen immediately or whether it's going to take anywhere between 2 to 20 seconds, I don't know. I don't know that. All I know is that from what I can tell, we've fixed it and now it works. That's the important bit. The super chats now work and they will be read out. I think the lowest I could make it go is like £2 or something, because it just wouldn't let me put a value lower than that. So there is something of a limit on it, but we tried to make it the least Tory limit that we possibly could. And we also fixed that on the stream, which made for quite a bad start to Friday's stream in a way, because I was just doing tech support for myself. Also, YouTube mangled that one, which is a real shame. I'm hoping to cut some stuff out of it and make it into videos, because it just desyncs horribly partway through. And it didn't desync live. No one was complaining about it whilst we actually did it. So, I don't know. I'm assuming that there was an issue there that I don't really know how to sort. No, not last Friday. Last Monday? Was it last Monday? It might have been Monday. No, it wasn't last Monday either. When was it? Wait, when was the last time? Oh, we missed last week, didn't we? We missed last week. Because it was my wife's birthday on Monday, and then on Friday I had a horrendous migraine. That's what happened. So it was the week before last. Either way, it's fixed. I mean, all of that is completely irrelevant to the fact that it is fixed. So, let's have a look. What should we go for first? I'll let you lot decide. What we're going to take a look at first. So we've got Cities of Sigmar. We've got the Knights that we were hoping would be a thing. We've got some Warcry stuff, some weird hollows. Oh, we've got Skaven for Underworlds. That's fun. Bretonian Battle Standard Bearer. Wait, is that the only thing that was for the old world? Is that the only thing that was for the old world? Was it just one model? Because if that's the case, we might have to just do that one first, you know. We might have to just do that one first. Because that's like, what? I mean, one thing? One thing? Alright. Okay. 30k because it's boring. Harsh. Harsh. Heresy. Epic. Cities. Lol, yes, could apply to any of those. Wait, so it is just the one model? That is disappointing. That is disappointing if it's just the... And... Oh, God. Oh, okay. We've got a test. Thank you very much, Killer Kriegsman. Let's see. Let's see if what we did last time has remained fixed. It's not going to do it now, is it?
Cake Fund.
Yes, she said it. She said Cake Fund. Love it. It worked. Amazing. It's done it. It's fixed. Okay. So, I mean, yeah, should we go last to first? Should we do last to first? Because I feel like Legions Imperialis is going to be interesting. That's going to be disappointing. That's going to be good. That has potential to be good. We already know that's fantastic. And that's going to be decent as well, for the most part, I assume. So, tell you what, let's go last to first. Let's have a look at Legions Imperialis, which, given that everyone said epic, which is not what it said on here, it now means that I know exactly what that is. But, you know what, it's fine. Okay, so, when they say gaming on a new scale, I'm immediately noticing that there are Titanicus miniatures in the back there, which isn't technically a new scale anymore. So, they have just brought Epic back. They have just brought Epic back. I'm going to unmute the desktop audio. I'm going to mute my... I don't know. We'll see how loud this is. I don't want it to double up all over the mic. Some drop poddage there, but it showed the actual ships in space. Like, if that was... Okay, is it massively loud? See, I can't tell how loud that is. Let's start from the beginning, and I'll just turn it all the way down. All the way. That should be way quieter now. Way quieter. I mean, on the surface, this looks really cool, but it is just like more Horus Heresy, isn't it? Which makes sense because it's in the Horus Heresy bit of the reveal, but yeah, I don't know. I'm like torn. I'm kind of torn with that, right? Because on the one hand, smaller scale is fun, and bringing back a form of epic is pretty cool. But it's also it's also, oh, I don't know. I like it. I think I would just prefer to see it, you know, for more stuff. Just more stuff. Hello, Candace Elnor. How you doing? Yeah, it's like... I think it's also because it's Horus Heresy again, but just smaller. It doesn't feel new, necessarily. Which I know is a weird thing to say, because it technically kind of is. So, given that we've already got Titanicus, I'm assuming that this just expands on that massively. So you've got the Titanicus models that you can use in Titanicus or in Legions Imperialis. I wonder if Aeronautica is, like, if you can use those models in this. That would be cool if you... That would be cool. That would be cool if you could. I'm assuming probably yes. I forget the scale for Aeronautica. Although then again, Aeronautica's got quite a bit of, like, Xenos stuff in it, hasn't it? So, I'm not sure. So 223 miniatures spread between Space Marines, Solar Auxiliary and Titans. That is kind of fun. It's also a weird choice, in a way. I mean, Solar Auxiliary... Correct. Okay, you're going to have to fill me in a little bit here. You're going to have to fill me in a little bit here, gang, because I just want to double check something. Solar Auxiliary... They're not just like Imperial Guard, are they? Solar Auxiliary. They're like a special version of them, kind of. Did Solar Auxiliary turn traitor? Because if they didn't, then you kind of... I suppose you could do what you like with it, I guess. I'm not sure. It just... For some reason, it being like more generic Guard feels like it would fit better, but that might just be due to limited knowledge of how Solar Auxiliary work and whether they are like full like... Because wasn't there just Imperial Guard as well? Or was Solar Auxiliary the version of Imperial Guard in Heresy, and then they're just... I don't know. I guess I just don't know enough about them. Just don't know enough about them, personally. So some turned traitor, some didn't. So, like, same as everything else, it's just a mix. Like, whoever they were with, kind of. Okay, cool. No, that's fine then. I just wanted to check that, because if it was like something that was kind of, if they were known for some sort of loyalty, then that would be weird. But if they also turn traitor, then it's fine, whatever. I do like the models. I have to admit, this is like... It's going to sound weird. Titanicus I really like the idea of. And I've got a small Titanicus force, and I need to actually assemble and paint that, because I really want to play some Titanicus. This generally speaking, this isn't for me. Like, I'm super, super happy that people are going to get, like, Epic again, because I know there's going to be loads of people who, like, will miss this scale and really want to, you know, play with this scale. But for me personally, I don't know. I'm looking at all the little lads on the bases, and I am thinking to myself, I just don't want anything to do with that. The vehicle side of it, I'm fine with, but I just don't want to be dealing with that many tiny guys to paint, because I like prefer painting bigger models anyway. Like, I can paint small models, but that doesn't look fun to paint to me, and I wouldn't want to show up with just plastic. Like, as it is, the Titans are kind of already on a weird scale to paint for me. I enjoy it, but like it's a weird scale to paint. Overall, it's like it looks cool from a distance, but I don't think it's something that I'll be getting into myself. You know, they're so small, so tiny. Oh, look at them. I mean, again, it's like, honestly, it's really cool that they're doing this. It is genuinely cool. I'm happy that this is coming back because I know there's going to be people who are so excited for this, and I get it, but it's just not for me, you know. But that's fine. Not everything needs to be for everyone. That's one of the things that, if anything, the no Warhammer 40k preview should hammer home. And the number of people that I saw get like upset about the fact that there's like no 40k in it, it's like, yeah, but there's other games, you know, there's other systems. Games Workshop is not just Warhammer 40,000. Just because it's not for you doesn't mean that it's not for anyone. It just means that it's not for you. And this is one of those situations. Oh, thank you very much for the renewal there, Arhane. Coming back to being a cultist. Love it. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. The little contemptors, I mean, admittedly, I want the little contemptors, but that's only because they're little contemptors. That's it. And the tiny tanks are fun. The tiny tanks are pretty fun. I just don't like the idea of painting the lads. Oh, the idea of painting the lads fills me with nope. Easy to paint, just a couple of colours, no wash. Oh, yeah, I suppose you're not putting like vast amount. I mean, you could if you wanted to put vast amounts of detail in, but then again, yeah, I can kind of see it. You could get away with just blocking out colour, maybe putting a little bit of an edge highlight. I don't think you'd even need to do that if you didn't want to. Just a light dry brush of a pale colour over the top would be like, that would work pretty well. I don't know, maybe I'm starting to see it a bit more. Thank you very much, Keith, for renewing your membership. Love it, thank you. Yeah, I can kind of see it a bit more. I would not be putting a bunch of time into them. I'll tell you that much. I would not be putting a bunch of time into it, but I guess you could churn them out if you really wanted to. And the tiny contemptors are excellent. So we've also got the Solar Auxiliary as well, which, I mean, these look... okay, these just look how I paint metal anyway. I just do a dark coat, then I just do a lighter dry brush, and then a much lighter dry brush, and that's it. I don't do anything else. So... funnily enough, the Solar Auxiliary side of things, easiest bit to paint, I reckon. I could easily get away with that, and it'd be fine. Be absolutely fine. They're weirdly cute, though. They're so adorable. They're so tiny. They're so tiny and cute. They're just little guys. They're just little guys. Amazing. I do think that these don't quite work as well as the Space Marines at this scale. Because the Solar Auxiliary models are like, they're detailed. Let's get some kind of... just some lads. Oh my god, the price. The prices are mad. What is that? 90 quid. 90 quid! Oh, it's so bad. Yeah, there's quite a bit of like extra detail that you can't get into models this small. But then again, you're not looking at things this big. Like, these guys are tiny. It's just about like the mass view of it, isn't it? It's not about like individual detail at this scale at all. It is just about, does it look like a cohesive army? Yes, because it's all small and it's all painted the same. That's it. That's all you really need. So the shrinking down not working as well only matters if you're holding them like that and staring at them, like we're doing here. Like when you look at the size of the bases, like they're not even going to be that big. They're bigger on the screen than they will be on the table. So yeah, it doesn't really matter. So we've got 4 Lehman Russ battle tanks, 2 Malkador heavy tanks, choice of main battle cannons and hull mounted weapons. Oh, there's a choice to that. That's nice. Oh yeah, what is this? The Athon heavy sentinel. These walkers patrol ahead of the main body for force to scatter enemies and engage them with multi-lasers missile launchers. Be interesting if we now saw these come like full scale. I wonder if they're planning that. They look weird. They look weird. Those to me, maybe this is mean. You'll have to tell me. Maybe, this to me kind of looks like someone went, we need to make the Sentinel look different. What do we do? And no one just wasn't, like, no, all they could think of was, well, just put the gun on top. Like, I don't know. It's a weird looking unit, and it's a weird choice, and things like the legs are just Sentinel legs. The actual cockpit is like still relatively Sentinel-esque, but it's just, I don't know. It's a weird looking unit, and it kind of feels like it's just different for the sake of being different. Very top heavy, very top heavy. Yeah, I'm not sure about those, to be honest. The tiny Lehman Russes are grand. The tiny Lehman Russes can stay. I mean, of course they can. They're great. Everyone loves a Lehman Russ. I mean, this would be the closest that I came to owning two Malcadors, because I'm not paying how much Forge World want for them. So that's a lie. At some point, I'm going to end up with a Malcador. Like, it's just going to happen. I won't be happy about it, but it will happen. And those do look decent. I do like that a lot. And there's also two Warhound Titans with new plastic weapons frame, including Ursus Claws, Nature Shot. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Aren't the Ursus Claws a Forge World only resin thing right now? I believe. The box also contains new lower profile bases that fit with the urban battlefield aesthetic. That's interesting. I wonder if those are just being included in the Warhound box full stop. That would make sense, wouldn't it, if they just upgraded the box to have all those options in it for the standalone bits. Yeah, they do look good. Yeah, the kind of the trim on the edges does look decent. It makes it really stand out as well. Makes it really stand out. Yeah, how to force Titanicus players to buy it. You want those extras, you got to shell out for the box. Wonder how much it's going to cost. Oh, what do you reckon? 150? If we look at the box, up here. See, oh, it's weirdly hard to judge actually, because it's so tiny. Theoretically, surely it would be slightly cheaper, but it's not going to be. It's going to be as much, if not more. What do you reckon? Same as Leviathan? Same as Leviathan, 150 for that box? I mean, there's 223 models in there. The fact that they're minuscule is beside the point. I'm guessing they didn't give a price on the stream, because of course they didn't. $120, you reckon? 100 at top end. Oh, you've got so much more faith than I have. You got so much more faith in them than I have. I just really... 120 for bean size models. 120. That's, you know what? I'm no judging. If it turns out to be that, that's great. I just, don't trust him. Oh no, I'm going to sneeze. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. I just saved your life. I just saved your life, gang. You would have died. The audio blast would have absolutely killed you. So, okay, we've got a lot of 120. 95 or nothing is very... That's very optimistic, Duke. That's very optimistic. 195? Oh, it better not. Better not be. Better not be 195. Jesus. Leviathan with 60 normal size models. This is like... Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Going to be interesting, that. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. I mean, let's be honest. I would imagine with a tiny bit of Googling, you can probably find stuff in this scale that could be printed right now. I'm not saying you should do that. I'm just saying that that's probably something that already exists, and it would be super interesting to see whether they try to make this competitively priced or whether they just do what they normally do and just charge lots. So did they say when this is coming out? Like, roughly when? Horus Heresy Legions Imperialis as we get closer to... Okay, closer to launch in August. Interesting. Wow. Yeah, that's really not far away. Huh. Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know. It's probably going to take a bit of back and forth as to whether I went for this. I will concede that the idea of painting all the little lads is not as daunting as it was before. It's definitely not as daunting as it was before, but I'm still not sure if it's something I would necessarily get into a huge amount. I think as a game, it's not massively appealing to me right now, but I don't know. Maybe it'll grow on me. Maybe it'll grow on me. I don't know. We'll have to see, won't we? We've got a little bit before it comes out. Okay, so we started with last. Now we're going on to... okay, if it's just the one guy, a new Bretonian miniature flies the colours of the Duke. Do you want the sound? Do you want the sound for this? I've turned it all the way down. Okay, so look at the lad. Lift the flags high and charge to victory. Okay. Couldn't get a voiceover for that? Alright, sure. I had to do it myself. Why not? Does look cool. Does look cool. Miniature armoured company. Oh, I'd be all in for that. If that was the thing you could do, I'd be... I'd go for it. Yeah, I mean, it looks good. It looks decent. Honestly, the lack of voiceover... Like, I get they probably didn't want to do, like, voiceovers for every single video, but for something like this... I just... For some reason, it just stood out there. I felt like you could really do with a good, like, booming bit of chat over that bit. But, okay. The battle standard bearer is the fulcrum of any Bretonian army. His resplendent banner is a symbol of his chivalrous realm. Okay. I mean, it looks decent. I'm just... I think what's getting me is I expected the old world to get a big showing at this. To get, like, a big showing. Especially with the... I know it sounds weird. The lack of Lord of the Rings that was here. Because it's like the non-40... no 40k preview. I kind of expected Lord of the Rings to show up as well, and it didn't. And... I don't know how to phrase this properly, right? It felt like the old world, when they first announced it, we had like renders of Bretonian stuff, and it was like, these are going to be like plastic bits that you can buy for your Bretonians or whatever. And we had like examples of helmets and stuff, and it felt like there was a big kind of, this is a monumentous undertaking kind of feel to it, right? But since then, I don't know what it is. It feels scaled back. It just feels scaled back. It kind of feels like when they announced it, it felt like we're putting everything into this. keep your eyes peeled. It's going to be slow going, but we're going to keep you updated. And then since then, it's like, here's like 2 dudes, 3 dudes. Yeah. Cool. And I don't know, it just hasn't quite... When I say lived up to the hype, I mean, it's not out, obviously, but it feels like they just haven't really pushed it all that much since that initial announcement. It just feels a bit sort of... I don't know, like it's not going to be as big as I thought it was going to be. But I don't know whether that's just me. I don't know whether that's just me placing like an expectation that wasn't like actually set at the outset of this. Like, I don't know whether it's just that I've made assumptions and those assumptions are wrong, or whether... Yeah, I don't know. But like, it looks fine. It looks good. It looks like a Bretonian on a horse. I mean, you know, it's like all the details are nice and crisp. The helmet is suitably silly. I do like the flag a lot. Like the cloth is decent for the most part, although it does feel a bit flat and plain in some areas on the horse there. I have to admit what is it? Like the proportions on the actual Bretonian knight feel a little odd, but I don't know whether that's just because he's kind of slumped down in his saddle. Yeah, I mean, it looks decent. I guess I was just expecting more. You know, like, it's not a bad looking model. It's not a bad looking model. I just really thought we'd see more. It's almost like it's underwhelming, but not because of what it is, just because it's the only thing that is. Do you know what I mean? Does look good though. The helmet's getting me every time with Bretonia. It gets me every time with Bretonia. Oh. The flag feels weirdly short. I think I can kind of see that a bit. It almost feels like he needs like a little stirrup to put the flag in, to be honest. That is a big old flag to be carrying around one-handed. I do like the inclusion of the sword and shield off to the side as well. And the kind of rosary with the chalice. That's fun. We'll have more to show from the square-based realm of Warhammer the Old World later in the year. Yeah, it's definitely slow going, isn't it? Definitely slow going for this. Yeah, you know what? I am Nagarith. I am whelmed. I'm whelmed. It's like exactly what I would expect from it. It's exactly what I would expect from it. So in the 90s, the Epic release when Titanicus, then Space Marine, was heresy-based. It went Epic a little bit later, which we'll go... Oh, I see. Yeah, Epic, I don't know if Epic was necessarily really a thing when I started playing. I don't... Was Epic still around 3rd edition of 40k? I actually don't know. That's the only way I can kind of keep track of when I started. It's just like 3rd edition. However many months it was before Necrons and Tau were released as their own full armies. That's my best attempt at trying to keep track. Even if Epic was still a thing at that point, I don't know that anyone in my like local club actually played it. So same thing with Mordheim. I missed out on Mordheim, and I wish I hadn't missed out on Mordheim. Beautiful yet rather vanilla. I guess actually in a way, yeah, it's like, yeah, Sigmarine. There's only so many men on horses I can see lately, like going, ah, yes, man on horse. It is kind of like, that's what a Bretonian knight on a horse looks like. That's definitely one. Yep. I mean, outside of that, what can you say? What can you say, you know? But yeah, I don't know. I thought there'd be more than one model, I guess. But the one that we got looks decent. Although him being resin is an absolute killer. Stop it. Stop using resin. Stop it. I don't like it. I mean, it's only me. I'm being massively selfish. But missed out on Battlefleet Gothic by like a year. I mean, that is the one. If they, of all the things that they're bringing back, if they dropped Battlefleet Gothic, I would be 100% in immediately. That would be it. That would be it. I'd be going for it straight away. Straight away. Okay. So we've got Underworlds. Skabik's Plague Pack. Come to corrupt the Weird Hollow. Horse on Tactical Rock. What we need is a horse on a tactical rock, and then on the horse is a tactical rock for the guy to sit on. That's what we need. Needs more peasants with coconuts. Hell yes. Where's that model? Where's that model for AOS? Where's that Cities of Sigmar leader? A guy with coconuts instead of a horse. Where's that one? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. See, this is like the cycle. The cycle. It's actually really interesting you've said that, Ruskin says. So here's a crazy idea: if enough people buy the starter box, then they are more likely to add Xenos. That's one of those things that comes up like a lot, and it's always super interesting to me, right? Because you are correct. Like, if enough people buy it, then they know that the system is going to get enough support that it warrants them doing further development and adding Xenos and stuff in. But at the same time, there are plenty of people who play 40k and are interested in 40k who do not care about Space Marines and have no reason to buy that box because the thing they're interested in just isn't in there. It's that same like self-fulfilling prophecy / cycle where Space Marines are super popular because people buy loads of Space Marines. So Games Workshop make loads of Space Marine stuff because Space Marines are super popular because people keep buying Space Marines. So Games Workshop keep making loads of Space Marine stuff, which is how we are in the position now where like the Space Marine range outnumbers like 3 other factions in terms of all their models. And so it's like, it's that thing of, are Space Marines popular because Games Workshop make so many different Space Marines and release updates for Space Marines so much? Or do Space Marines, like, do Games Workshop do them because Space Marines are that popular? It's that weird kind of back and forth cycle thing, and it's always super interesting to me because at its core, Space Marines are like the face of 40k. They are the face of it. They are the poster boys. They're the ones who get shown off all the time. They're the ones that get put on all the promotional material, all of that stuff. And they are like the core element, basically. Like, I know we do have big stories involving Necrons and Tyranids and so on and so forth, but the entire foundation of the 40k universe is effectively the events of the Horus Heresy. The fact that it's Space Marines versus Space Marines is how it starts off, and so many of the big conflicts basically come down to Space Marines versus even more evil Space Marines, or even more terrible Space Marines. And realistically, they're always going to get that amount of attention because of just how core they are to the universe as a whole. It's something that sets it apart from a lot of other sci-fi universes. But at the same time, because there are all these other things in there that are arguably just as, if not more interesting than the poster boys, you've always got this kind of outlier of, oh, there's this really cool Xenos race, and I really like it, and oh, there's even more Xenos stuff, and I would love if I could like have something that is more Xenos focused. That would be awesome. But of course, everything has to have that hint of Space Marine because that's what brings all the outside attention is brought in by that. But again, it's like if it's Horus Heresy based, obviously it's gonna have the poster boys in it because that's the whole point of the Horus Heresy. But it's like super interesting because of the fact that They are so integral and so core and used so well in terms of marketing. But at the same time, there is a dedicated group within the kind of wider hobby community that just kind of want a bit more stuff for things that aren't in power armor, you know? It's one of those kind of, how would you even do 40k without them? You can't. Clearly you can't. But by giving them as much support as they arguably need in order to continue keeping things successful, you then end up with issues of everything seems to have that flavour of it. And things like you know, the section on the Games Workshop website where the boys in blue have got like 230 something entries, and then you look at some other stuff and it's like, oh, you can have 17 models, and it feels super unbalanced. But then if people didn't keep buying them, it wouldn't be super unbalanced. But then the people just keep buying them because Games Workshop keeps putting them out. It's all just like constant cyclical stuff. I just find it super interesting. And the other thing that's interesting as well is how popular other stuff gets when Games Workshop does like a big push and does like a big refresh. Like Necrons did pretty damn well out of Indomitus and got a huge amount of new models and stuff. And you started to see them more. Like, you just saw more Necron armies. You saw them show up more for painters. You saw them show up more in terms of, like, social media posts and stuff, in terms of tutorials on YouTube, things like that. Like, Necrons became far more popular. But then again, they also had a big bunch of new models, and it's almost as though if you take any faction, shower them with love, and put them in the spotlight, people are going to go, that's really cool, I want to play that. But it doesn't happen as often to other factions. Or at least there isn't a steady trickle as much as there is for Space Marines. And I just rambled for ages, so I'm now well behind on comment. Just give me a second. Just give me a sec. Nick Bosco, we're just taking a look at the reveals from the Saturday No 40k preview, but that we just went on a massive tangent because that happens a lot around here. So far, the Legions Imperialis, that's what it was called, wasn't it? Yeah. Good, but not for me. The Bretonian Battle Standard, Bearer, fine. Dude and a horse. This is the worst summary ever. We need more orcs. But then, actually, you know what? There is, like, the occasional weird thing where, like, the orc refresh was, like, they've done a couple of, like, orc refreshes, and they've been super weird each time, because they've just gone off on a bizarre direction. So you look at, like, when Orktober happened, and we had a bunch of vehicles show up, which was cool, but didn't address a lot of the fact that a lot of the Orc infantry range are super, super old. And then when they did update Orc infantry, they sort of did it as part of a combat patrol, but with limited weapons options. But then they also had, like, the Beastie Boys, whatever they're called. I've forgotten the name of them now. But the kind of updated orcs were just a different type of orc instead of updating the actual orcs that people had been wanting an update to. So I don't know. They make weird choices sometimes. They make weird choices sometimes. Super weird. My poor ogres with 10-year-old infantry. We do need more orcs. We always need more orcs. Xenos players aren't one consumer base. Getting new towers doesn't help orc players. Yeah, that's the other thing as well. Like, you update a Space Marine model and pretty much every Space Marine player can get that model. You update a Tau model and only Tau players benefit from that, which I know that's a very, like, obvious statement, but in terms of, like, weight of numbers, the fact that more people play Space Marines and that there is such a great variety of different Space Marines and Space Marine chapters and factions and all of that kind of thing, like, one release for that faction has a, like, monumentally bigger impact than one release for one Xenos faction because of how disparate and spread out the Xenos factions are. Good morning, Rob. Yeah, what are they called? The new orcs. I can't remember. Right. We got very off track there. We got very off track. So let's see what the rat lads are up to. I mean, they already look Plague Monk-esque, so that's nice. Orkly Rogel Dawn Tank. I mean, that just sounds legit to me. These do look cool. Oh, I love the bandages. I love them. I love Skaven. Love them. Oh, and they're fighting the cool, the cool ghosts with the cursed sword. Nice. Yeah, they look pretty solid. They look pretty solid. Beast Snaggers, that's it. Thank you. The Beastie Boys. It's close enough. It's fine. Yeah, there's quite a bit of smoke effects going on here. Alright, let's have a look. So, Scabix Plague Pack, a group of disease worshippers from lands Pestilence, obviously. Malodorous monks known for their terrifying fanaticism and poor hygiene, even among the fairly fetid Skaven. Well, that's rough. A key ingredient in one of the 13 great plagues can be found in the Weird Hollow and will stop at nothing to seize it, complete their brew, and turn great tracts of the mortal realms into a paradise of rotten mulch. Love them. Love them. That's already great. I do love Skaven, but there's so many old models. So many. Right. There is quite a lot of smoke going on. That is like weirdly, I don't know, weirdly diseased smoke. It looks super like thick and chunky. I don't know how else to put it. Loving the warp stone going on. The little rat holding the warp stone is the best. That's fantastic. Also, all this like growths coming out of it is really, really gross. Big old boil along the side of it as well. Got a nice big chunk of warpstone on that guy's staff. Again, quite a bit of smoke coming out of the like morning star flail off the end of it thing. Is it like a... It's kind of like a Thurable, but it looks more like just a flail head, so that's interesting. He is standing on a tactical bit of scenery, but it's not a rock, so it's good. It's good. Oh no, Razor Wolf, we're going like last to first. We're literally going backwards. So we started down here, and we're going up the page. That was a recommendation that was given to me, and I just followed it without question, because I'm easily led. Yeah, I do like these. Good amount of cool cloth. Again, even the bell has got warpstone in it. That's fun. That's fun. What is going on with this weird line there? Are you seeing that? What is that? Yeah, Underworlds is interesting. Tactical sewage pipe. Yep. They're getting converted to Necromunda Gene Stealer cults. That's awesome. Wouldn't it be great if you could just use them in Necromunda? That would be great. Give them rules. Yeah, I like these. I like these a lot. These are fun. The smoke looks really nasty. The bandages look cool. I really like the way they've painted the wood on like the kind of handles of the weapons as well. Hope they can be used in Warcry. Yeah, they will probably. I mean, the Warcry, Underworlds, and AOS, like, pretty much, I think all the Warcry stuff ends up usable in AOS. I think Underworlds does too. One of the many reasons why AOS is quality. Yeah, I like the weapons on these. They look suitably crazy and horrible. The little guy with the knife and just the big stick with some paper on it, I'm I'm loving him. He's great. Can't even see. Oh, thank you very much for the super chat. Red Hands of the 8th.
Just wanna pop in and say hi. Got your stream on while milling some wood for a resin hobby table.
I mean, that sounds awesome. Send pictures when you're done. I want to see a resin hobby table. That sounds great. Is it one of those ones where you've got like sections of wood and then you like do a pour of resin so it connects the wood and you've got like different colours in between, or kind of different sort of like almost like water effect type things? I want to see. I want to see. Yeah, the lad with the cloth over his face definitely needs glasses. Mind you, all of them seem to have some sort of eye issue going on. The one behind him has got like one eye swollen shut. Also, those are great knives. Those don't look like actual... They don't look like weapons. They look like old chef's knives that have been like repurposed and badly sharpened and just left out to corrode, which I really like. That's cool. He's also got a bit of a swollen eye, more kind of like bone growing out of the shoulders and the neck and stuff. Yeah, these are really fun. I like these a lot. I mean, to be fair, Underworlds like rarely misses. Underworlds just do good. Like, there's good warbands in Underworlds for the most part. I don't know how many are currently available. Thinking about it. Oh yeah, the Horseman is up for pre-order, isn't he? Is the Horseman up for pre-order? He is. Oh, but he's in a box. Can't get him separately. Boo. Boo, I say. I got excited, right? I got excited because the Horseman, this dude, this absolutely incredible model, up for pre-order, but he's in a box with other stuff, and I don't want the other stuff. I just want this guy, because this is one of the best things they've ever made. You're going to be seeing this, right? This is going to be in every single Golden Demon competition from now until the end of time. It's so good. It's so good, and you just will not... You're just going to see it constantly. Like, constantly. It's so good. But yeah, like, if you look at the Underworlds warbands that are available right now, not all of them are amazing, but most of them are at the very least decent, right? So, I mean, right now, the Nighthaunt ones, like, that is a great looking warband. It's got a cool story behind it, some really nice sculpts. Yeah, I like. It's a range that has got like some really fun, interesting models in it. They're also 4Games Workshop products. They're also not too horribly priced, you know. I need to get hold of the Gore Chosen before those go out of rotation. Yeah, it being seasonal is a little bit like of a shame, because there's some great stuff that is difficult to get hold of. I've actually got 2 of the Wormspat because I converted a guy, then loved it so much, but wanted to learn from it and do another version that was better, so I ended up managing to find a second one on eBay. Now, in my defense, I have used all of those models for things now, but like, yeah, the Wormspat are amazing. This lot, I have this box. Maybe that's something for us to do on a stream. Build these guys and paint them, because I love this warband. I love this warband. It's so good. The only thing I don't like about this warband is the bare heads on these two. I would absolutely swap those out for helmets, but they're great. They're great. Yeah, they do a regulation. They get folded into AOS, and they get like battle scrolls. War scrolls? What did I say? Battle scrolls. You know what I mean. But yeah, and it's a slight tangent again, but yeah, I want this guy. I want this dude. It's not gonna look good when I paint it, but I want him anyway. I will buy him, paint him, and then just go back, strip him, and paint him again, over and over again until it looks good. I don't care. I'd do it. Anyway, the rats look quality. I like the rats. Not at all surprised though, because as we said, Underworld has got some great stuff. Did it say when these are out at all? Soon. Just soon. That's all we get, soon. Alright, fair enough. Some good looking lads. Some good looking lads. Oh. Awesome. Right. Let's have a look at Warcry. So, cruelboys, monster killers. Right, sure. I mean, the boss man there already looks hardcore, so that's a good start. What is he holding? More baboons! Why is there more what's going on? What's with the what's with baboons? Oh, that's a bit dark, isn't it? He's just wearing a like a lizard man's skull as a hat. Why are there? Okay, this is not the first. This is not the first set of baboons that we've had in Warcry. What is going on? What was the other band that had? There's another war band that had baboons in it. Oh, what was it? What was that other war band? Hang on, I'm gonna find him. I'm gonna find him. I can't remember the name of the war band. Oh, maybe they're not on. Are they not on general release at the moment? They're not on. They're not on general release. It's the. Is it like Grot Lads or something? No, it's not Grots. Oh, that's gonna bug me. No, it's the Ghouls. It's Flesh Eater Courts. Yes, Flesh Eater Courts. Thank you. Okay, I need to find that warband so we can compare baboons. We need to do... Okay. Flesh Eater Courts. Let's see. When was the last? Oh, come on. Show me the baboons. I hate the way that the I really hate the way that the Games Workshop site does like searches. No, that's way too old. Oh no, that's gonna really bug me. I want to compare them, but I can't remember. Nightmare Quest. Was that it? Was that it? Come on, it's easy to search Google than their own site. Nightmare Quest. Come on, show me the baboons. Show me those baboons. Yes. Thank you very much. The Vergona. I'm sorry. I'm bad at reading names. Yeah, what is it? What's going on? Why is there baboons suddenly? I mean, you know, is it Gur at the moment? They're in the realm of beasts. Then again, mind you, let's be fair. I'd forgotten that it was Flesh Eater Courts who had them first. So presumably the cruelboys have got normal living baboons, right? But these lads have got undead baboons. That's the thing, isn't it? That's the progression. When you got normal baboons, they look like these. Just normal living baboons. And then when they get done by the Flesh Eater Courts or whatever, they end up being these undead baboons. Although it feels like these ones are bigger, but I don't know if that's... no, I guess they're about the same. Yeah, raised baboons that they got from killing cruelboys. That's a fun little narrative. Even if we've just invented it, it's a fun little narrative. I still don't really know why that grot is holding a testicle, but, you know. Presumably that was stolen from one of the sons of Behemat, right? Oh, next up, chaos possessed baboons. Hell yes. Hell yes. Yeah, where's the baboon army? The word baboon is losing all meaning to me now. Like it's fully losing all meaning. I need to stop saying it. They are terrifying in real life, that's fair. He's egg. Just egg. He's steel egg. Oh, it's definitely not a testicle, right? It's definitely not. He didn't actually steal a Mega Gargant's testicle. That's not what happened. It's definitely an egg. I wasn't being 100% serious on the accusation of nut stealing. Oh, hang on. I think the orc ones are macaques. Oh, alright, hang on. Now I've got to search for a macaque. What does a macaque look like? The first thing I found when I put MAC was a macaroni cheese. That's not. Okay, let's have a look. Let's have a look at a macaque. Oh, mind you, it does seem like there's quite a few different species of macaque, so it could be. Kind of hard to tell. Kind of hard to tell whether it's a macaque. I can quickly search for a baboon just in case. Yeah, no, I reckon those are like some sort of weird long-haired baboon. I mean, we can't really see their arse, so it's a little bit. There we go. Why don't we go back to these, right? Spin him. If he's got a bare arse, he's definitely a baboon. Because baboons have got like bare arses, haven't they? Oh, maybe he's not a baboon then. He's also got no tail. No tail on this one. Although it might have been like ripped off or something. We're getting really deep into the weeds on the whole baboon thing. Let's move on. Let's just look at the models properly, right? Good lord. Oh, the tangents are so much worse today than they normally are, and they're normally pretty bad. Right. So the big boss man does look cool. He looks a bit over encumbered, I will say that. Big old sack of goodies on his back. I do like the two big horns coming out of it. That's fun. I mean, yes, they are definitely eggs. He has eggs in his backpack, in his rucksack. I do like the weapons. I always like that. I always like the cruel boy weapons because they look so like shoddily made. It's like if I just get a load of pointy stuff and stick it on a stick and then stick someone with that stuff on a stick, they'll die, and that's all I need from this weapon. So let's do that. I do like that a lot. Things like the kind of mace he's got as well, just being a rock with some metal bands around it. He is very top heavy. It makes him look like he's got super skinny legs. Kind of gives weird proportions in a way. Those are Mournfang horns. It's a brooch squig. It's a brooch squig. It is a brooch squig. Excellent. The little lad with all the spikes and the testicle. Like, now that I've seen it, I just can't unsee it. So that's just a real shame for him. He does look very creepy though. Looks like a little creepy urchin, like a little horrible creepy sidekick. Also, I feel like he talks like the Murlocs. Like is it Murloc? Murloc from World of Warcraft. No, not the Murlocs. The kobolds. The ones that are like, take candle. Those guys. I feel like he says that, but about the testicle. Very, very, very like covered in trophies. Do like that. The monkey lads are cool. They've got like a bit of bling on for some reason, some sort of carved rock. Not really sure what's going on there. I do like the fact that one of them's got like all spikes coming out of his little rope harness. That's fun. Nothing more regal than your squire carrying your nut into battle. I mean, that's just how that works now. We've ruined it. We've fully ruined it. We've absolutely ruined it. I love how every other faction ends up as trophies for orcs. They do. They really do. Oh. Oh, dear. Good morning, Dats and Des. How you doing? Testicular torsion Gretchen. Oh, ah. Oh, no. No, not a fan of that. The actual cruelboys themselves do look decent. They look pretty cool. Again, the weapons are so harsh and brutal. Like, you look at the club, basically the baseball bat with nails in it, and it's like, okay, that's pretty hardcore. That's an insane thing to run into battle with, but okay. Then the guy next to him has just got a long stick with a serrated knife attached to it. And then, like, you just rotate further round. What even is that? Is that, like, part of a two-man saw that's been attached to a pole? Is that what that is? It's just so... They're just so, like, brutal, their weapons. They just look really, really harsh. In such a good way. And, of course, you got the lad who's banging the drum. You need a lad who's banging the drum. He is necessary. He's necessary. He gives them the, gets them hyped up when they go nut raiding. Warcry's AOS weapons turned up to 11. Yeah, it's pretty... And I do like the fact that one of them is definitely wearing like a lizard man skull. And its skin. It's harsh. It is harsh. This is a good looking lot. I like them. The little scrote advisor there, it does make me laugh. It's nice to see the baboons looking healthy. Yeah, that's a solid lineup there. That is a solid lineup. Do we know when we are going to see these? Neck slicers. Sure. No. No idea. Lots more in store for fans of Warcry in the coming months. Sure, why not? But yeah, also usable in Orc Warclan armies in AOS. So good. So good. Again, just proof that AOS is decent. I know many people think it's not, and I'm sorry that they've chosen to be wrong, but, not everyone can be right. Not everyone can be right. Gonna get the drum dude as a band member for the goth rocker. You know what? That's a great idea. That is a great idea. Need another destruction warband. Yeah. The drummer has his strap right over his horrible wound. He did, actually. You know what? Every time he hits the drum, it's just going to make his chest hurt. What a maniac. Now, to be fair, Ogrin Mod, these are for Horus Heresy. They're going to be in the Imperial Knight / Chaos Knight Codex for 40k. Like, they clearly are. We already know that that's true. There's already rules for them in 40k. But technically, and I'm only being slightly, jokingly salty about it because I want both of these. I mean, it's the Castigator, the Acheron, and the Lancer in plastic, so I'm all in. I love Knights. I would already own some of these if they weren't horrendously expensive. Oh, yeah. They do look good. Of course they do. Of course they do. It's great. Yep. Yeah, I'm going to be going in on at least one of these. How could I not? So good. I mean, that's the thing though, right? They are already really good looking knights. And all they're doing is making them cheaper, more widely available, and easier to work on. Like what? Why would you not? Why would you not like the shift over to plastic? Also, little things, right? Little things. So, if you look at the current Imperial Knights, like the ones that are like available right now in plastic, there are like not inconsistencies, but there are things. There are things that just don't that look a little bit dodgy. So I'm just finding it now, right? Well, not dodgy, but okay. Come here, Night Warden. You'll do. You're a good example. So we've got a Night Warden here, right? The Night Warden has got a gigantic, like, Gatling gun. Big old multi-barreled, spin-to-win, ammo-churning gun right there. Right? Big old gun. Needs lots of stuff to go through it to hit the enemy. Except that thing is going to fire for maybe 2 seconds and then be completely out of ammo. Because the other ones were done Forge World first, and therefore more premium, they did things like give an actual ammo feed to a big hopper on the back of it, which makes it look like it's going to fire for, maybe like 10 seconds. But still, that is a difference that sets these apart. Because it feels like more thought has gone into there. It just feels like more thought's gone into that. That's what it boils down to for me. With these, there are little nods here and there to stuff that is just not addressed on the plastic knights that we've had for ages. Like really, that should have a big chunky ammo hopper on the back, and it should have a belt so that it can fire for more than 2 seconds. But it doesn't have that. That does. And I prefer the fact that that does. Yeah, it makes the back of it super chunky, but it just looks cooler. It just looks cooler. Having the big ammo feed looks cooler. Big old belt full of bullets. It just looks better. All this night talk makes me want to get a new knight. Well, I'm right there with you. Now, admittedly, things like yeah, Ogrin mod straight away. I was just about to say, admittedly, how does the sword even hit anything? But then again, that's not a problem that's unique to the taller knights, because even the shorter knights have the same issue. Like, that hand is not grabbing anything, is it? It's not grabbing anything. What is that going to grab? But it still looks cool. It still looks cool. Hello, Synergy. How you doing? I have my concerns for posability with a plastic belt. Well, yeah, there is that. I don't know that this is going to be as posable. Then again, having said that, then generally speaking, the knights aren't very posable. They're just not. The legs are supposed to go pretty much in one direction, and you're just going to have to... You've got to take the hit and do some cutting and gluing if you want to repose them. At least that's what I feel in my experience, anyway. The Acheron looks solid as well. It's so good. I just love the flamer. The flamer looks great. All the knight melee weapons are designed only for knight-on-knight combat. Yeah. Well, the thing is, I mean, it's a little bit early to be judging, isn't it? Well, we've already got two different leg poses there. That immediately gives me a bit of hope. So we've already got two different leg poses. That one, you've got the left leg is forward, right leg is back. This one, you've got right leg forward, left leg back. That is already a step up. That's already a step up. It's worth pointing out that that's already a step up. You look at all these knights right here. Same leg pose on every single one of them. Same leg pose on every single one of them. That's just how the legs are. So that That's already more posable than the plastic knights that we've had access to for however long these have been around. Which I can't really remember at this stage. Same with the big ones, with the Castellans as well. Same with the Castellans. Exactly the same leg pose each time. There's no other way of doing it. And it is the same for the Chaos Knights as well. Oh, interesting. Oh, there we go. Alright. Everything's temporarily out of stock. Reeboks, maybe? But yeah, it's the same thing with these. The main bit of, like, of being posable for knights is how you pose the arms and the torso in comparison to the legs, which are just static. It's like, yeah. when I built the Chaos Knights that I had, like, just reposing them was an absolute pain. It's just not easy to do. It's just not easy to do. But those already look way better in that respect. Yeah. And of course they've got to be chaosified. You got to chuck some chaos stuff on them. Just got to do it. Maybe mix and match a little bit. I'd love to do a Lancer that's got the flail off the Abominant. That would be solid. That would be solid. You say that, Ogren Mod. To be fair now, my Mega Gargants have all got unique poses. They've all got unique poses. That's mostly because I didn't at any point use the actual kit. Which, you know, some would argue that means that what I've just said it's invalid, right? You could argue that. You could say, well, you can't say that you pose them differently. You didn't actually, you know, do it, did you? Which would be fair. It's a fair criticism. I mean, look. Hang on. Oh, is that why that's so zoomed in every time? See? Look at those Mega Gargants. Look at those totally normal Mega Gargants. You can't tell me that there's repeated poses in there. There's no problem. There's no problem there. Absolutely no problem with repeated poses. so stupid. Although I'm in the way, I've just noticed. I'm like totally in the way. Look, there we go. See? That's how you do it. That is how you do it. If you want to avoid repeated poses on Mega Gargants, because they all have exactly the same pose, all you need to do is not use the kit in any capacity. Just don't use any part of it. Not one bit of it. I mean, that's what I did, and I feel like it turned out all right. And you can clearly tell what each of them are. You know which type of Mega Gargant they are. That's just a flat out lie. That's just an absolute lie. There's no way of knowing which one of those is which is why I made a cheat sheet for it. Because how would you ever have any clue? Such a stupid army, Jesus Christ. And I've got to paint that goddamn chicken. I've got to paint the chicken. I don't want to paint the chicken. Well, I do want to paint the chicken. But, yeah. Anyway. All of that to say that it looks like these are going to be decently posable. All of that just for that. Oh, so stupid. Right. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at some cities of Sigmar, right? Because let's be honest, that's what we're here for. Well, I don't know if that's true. But yeah, some nameplates for the bases. That would work. Do you want to see the cheat sheet I made? Hang on, let me find the cheat sheet that I made, because then that sort of kind of helps a little bit. I printed it out, like I took them to Facehammer last year, which I was really hoping to go again this year, but I'm not able to, which is a shame, because I really enjoy Facehammer. But what I did was I did this, because I figure, well, if you're going to show up, right, if you're going to show up with a insane bunch of conversions that look nothing like the model that you're actually saying it is, you've got to do something to help the person you're playing. You've got to, because it's not fair on them. Like, they didn't ask to be faced with, you know, a bunch of stuff that you can't possibly even guess at what they are. So I got each of the models in my light box on a white background, got the silhouette of them because I wanted it to be easy to print and just be like not like full of confusing detail over the page, and then just put what they were underneath. And you know what? I didn't get any complaints, which was really nice. I got the models out, I put them on the table, and then I just handed whoever I was playing one of these sheets and was like, okay, this is what this army is, because I'm assuming you're going to want to know what each of these are. And it worked a treat. It worked a treat. And I think it was necessary. Like, I wouldn't have been happy. I personally love seeing massive conversions and things that are totally different, like crazy kit bashes. I love seeing them, and I love playing against them. But at the same time, I also do like knowing, you know, what things are. So this seemed like the best way around that. And it did the job. It worked. Even I had to use it. That was the thing as well. It wasn't just for the people I was like playing against. It helped me too. It helped me a lot. Because you've got 4 of them. 2 of them are the same type of Mega Gargant. So it's like, what's what? Oh, it's alright. I made that sheet. I can double check my own army. Had to be done. It just had to be done. Anyway, let's have a look at some Cities of Sigmar. Reclaimed. I mean, talking of mad silhouettes, look at that. Talking of mad silhouettes, that is insane. Oh, I'm looking forward to this. Let's go. So, it's the launch box. They look great. They look so cool. Oh, God. It's so sick. Oh, my God. Oh, absolutely ridiculous. What an insane model. I love it. I love that they've done that. Okay. There's an error in the infantry images where there's 2 images of the same model. Ugh. Alright. I don't know a regulator. It's going to be another Mega Gargant. Basically, I'm just building more of them. I don't need more. I've already got 2,000 points of them. I don't need any more, but I'm making more, because of course I am. So, this box features a robust core of a Castellite formation, ready to unleash Sigmar's wrath on any who would stand in the way of the Dawnbringer Crusades. So you've got a good chunk of infantry, 20 infantry. You've got the, is it the captain? The general? I forget what that unit name is. That's a new lad there, and then you've got the horses in the back. I mean, they look good. I do like them a lot. Free Guild Marshal, that's it. Free Guild Marshal. Big strong woman, yes. Yeah, actually, you know what? Was it the last on the horse? Absolutely take you out. Absolutely take you out, she could. 40k releases a line. This is the single best line ever. AOS, hold my beer. So, for optional assembly, so for Regal Marshal, we actually talked about this a little bit, about what you could possibly do to, like, switch out the different weapons options, because it looks super customizable, which I'm really, really liking. I like that a lot. So yeah, we've got optional assembly there as well. So it's sword and shield, 2 guns. I really want to see like sword and hammer. Sword and hammer would be a quality combination, right? Sword and hammer would be quality. You could have gun and sword. That would look quality. You could have gun and hammer. Or, hear me out here, shield and gun. Now, I don't think that some of those combinations will be technically, like, legal. I don't think that that's necessarily what you will be able to put down as them being on the battlefield. But I think, personally, having a shield and a gun is quality, and that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. I want to do shield and gun, because shield and gun would be class. So that's what I'm going to aim for. I still love the fact that there's a head in a box being carried by the other one. I mean, basically, what I want to do is turn the Free Guild Marshal into a 40k breacher. I just realised is what's going on there. And I'm okay with it. So, joined by an Alchemite Warforger, a powerful wizard smith, Christ, from the Gold College of Shaman? I don't know. These I can't pronounce that either. This is going well, isn't it? Can reinforce the armour of allies and infuse weapons with searing power, aided by smouldering runic crucibles they carry into battle. I mean, he does look mad. I'm getting strong like, the Fire Wizard. I forget the name of it. Is it just Fire Wizard? Out of Vermintide. Because there's a helmet that you can get for her that's just got like this fully enclosed metal helmet. Kind of makes me think of that. I do like that a lot, though. That's kind of interesting. That's kind of fun. Like the really kind of heavy heat-proof apron that he's got on. All the runes carved into the bottom. Also, I really like that those tongs are like... It's basically doubling as a staff, isn't it? So it looks like a tool of forging, but also like a casting implement for magic. That's a really fun model. I like that a lot. Yeah, that's tickled my fancy. That's tickled my fancy, that one. That is very fun. Yeah, I really like the heavy duty kind of screws and kind of like the buckles going on the apron. Also, there's not much in terms of like... You've got kind of heavy gloves, heavy apron, but no like shirt that I can see. There's probably like something under the strap across that shoulder, but it feels almost like concessions are being made due to the heat of the cauldron that's being carried. But despite all of those concessions, you've still got this massive like metal mask helmet, which has to be absolutely stifling. It has to be. That's really cool. That is really cool. I like that a lot. The helmet almost looks like a crude mimic of a Stormcast helmet. You know what? I can see that. Yeah, that's really fun. Like that a lot. Okay. Free Guild steel helms of the rank and file of the Cities of Sigmar armies. Doughty? Disciplined and numerous. I can't talk today, can I? Though they're often outmatched in size and strength by the ferocious horrors they face in battle, they have faith and gutsy determination on their side. That and a whole army of sharp swords and blunt implements. Oh, gang, this is not... I'm struggling, aren't I? God. Okay. Excellent standard bearer. Love the trumpet work. I really like the shields. The shields are really fun. The helmets are just so... I really like them. We've got repeated... So we've got repeated pose there and there. Although, only slightly? Oh, weird. No, maybe it's not fully repeated. That guy with the broken sword and the big cudgel. Love that. Love it. That's great. The Bright Wizard. Thank you. Yeah, these are really, really cool. I like these a lot. So, just the overall, like, just the aesthetic of it is really, really fun. Yeah, those are good. The same guy from the last image. Oh, he's a twin. Oh. Yeah, they are good. Oh my god. Barrymore Pool Cleaning. What a name. Jesus, what a reference. I tell you what. If I'm probably going to cut this into a separate video for the channel. I'm afraid I'm going to be cutting out referencing the name. Jesus. Right. It's so distracting now I've noticed it. Christ. Who were these again? What are they called? The Cavaliers, that was it. Once their thunderous charges smashed apart an enemy formation, they will wheel around weapons ready to support their foot-slogging comrades in a long and grinding battle of attrition. Nice. Yeah, you know what? It is. It's cool to have what is mostly a human faction. Admittedly, we do have the small lad on the big lad. Which, you know, the big lad is not necessarily human, but overall, it's pretty much just people, armour, and horses. Or, like, some sort of mount. Does that count as a mount? The small lad riding the big lad. Is the big lad just a mount, like a horse, or a I've forgotten the name of the thing, the manticore? Does it still count? Is it still just a mount? Because if so, then we're grand. People complain the heads of the horses are small. I hadn't really I don't know. Maybe a little bit. Maybe the heads are a little bit small on the horses. Maybe they're just a different type of horse. I don't know. It's not jarring to me. It's not like sticking out as like, oh, this is a serious issue. There's something wrong with these. It's not sticking out in that respect. Yeah, I don't think I would have called that necessarily. Yeah, maybe they are a little bit. But, you know what? It's not really bothering me all that much. Yeah, we'll just say it's a different type of horse. It's just it's just a horse with a smaller head. It's just a different breed of horse. The small-headed horse is what it is. You can only find it in that particular realm of the mortal realms. There, sorted it, fixed it. Law, gang. You can get away with anything if you go for a bit of law. And the little snail man, the little tiny snail man. I'm sure there's an explanation for the little tiny snail man, but I don't know what it is, and I'm okay with it. I'm just happy he's there. I'm just happy that he's there. Just a little snail man having the time of his life, apparently. I don't know. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. I haven't asked him. They look about the same proportions as the Chaos Knights. Yeah. You know what? I love them. I love them. The army set is the first place you can get any of these miniatures, of course it is, and it includes 4 transfer sheets with iconography covering a wide variety of Free Cities heraldry. And obviously a special edition of the Battle Tome. We wouldn't have expected anything else. Anything else, would we? You may have noticed just a little sting in the tail of the preview video. Yeah, ha ha ha. The awe-inspiring presence of Talia Vedra, Lioness of the Parch, who rides out as the scorching heart of Akshi's military. I mean, that's mental. It is properly mad. It really is. And that's not a criticism. I'm here for it. Does it need to be a throne as opposed to a saddle? Does it need to be that tall? I feel like aerodynamically that is not going to be helpful to that manticore at all. It's not going to be helpful. But hear me out. It looks class, so I don't care. I don't care about that. I just don't. It looks insane. It's absolutely... It's... What the hell? So we've got proper armoured sections over the shoulders of the manticore. We've got just an absolute legend riding on top with a full-on throne back behind her. I really like the wings. The wings are posed super well. Like, the wings are posed really cool. The fact that they are like... It's like it's only just kind of landed, and the way that the flags are going kind of sells that as well, as though it's just landed and the wings are kind of out and bracing and just kind of going forward to slow down a little bit. It's a great looking model, that. That is great. It's so extreme and over the top. Like, it's so mad. Just the sight of a borderline saddle throne has really sent me. But it's great. It's absolutely great. It's not a complaint. So silly. Oh, the throne's got people's heads in it. Yeah. Yes. Part of what makes the cities of Sigmar so formidable, even in the face of gods and monsters, is the conviction of their beliefs. Few embody this strength as well as Talia Vedra, a former mercenary whose Adorner propaganda made manifest, depicted across the realms as the righteous fury of the Dawnbringer Crusades, soaring into battle to smite the enemies of Sigmar from atop Infernadine, her savage manticore steed. Infernadine! Oh my god. Oh yeah, look at the armour. Look at the armour with like the kind of turned out section at the bottom. Yeah. And all the skulls that are kind of embedded in the back of the throne on the back of her flying, her eagle lion scorpion. Oh god, it's great. It's great. Got some optional assembly as well. I wonder if this is going to be one of those like generic leader 2. Because they've done that a few times. I say a few times. They do it a lot. Pardon you, Chair. They do that a fair bit, where it's like, here's the named version, but you can also just have it as just a normal warrior on the back of a manticore. I don't know if there is a normal version of this, is there? Can you have a normal version of whatever the hell this is? It's just daft. The scepter's cool. I do like the scepter. The axe is cooler than the scepter, but I think the sword is winning overall. Then in the back... Oh, what's going on at the back? Oh, so we've got a skull hanging from a little... Like... What is that? She's got like her own little private space on the back of the throne for decorations. And by decorations, I mean some orc's skull. Is it an orc's skull or is it like a demon-y skull? I mean, either way, as if that bit couldn't get any more mad and silly. As if having a carved throne saddle wasn't enough. Now there's a little display area attached to the back of it. Oh god. They called out the fact that the sword, scepter, and axe are all unique artifact weapons that do different things and have their own histories. That's interesting. Oh, so maybe not a generic version of this then. Maybe not a generic one. Oh, I don't know whether I'm that disappointed because it's so... I don't know, it just stands out as being really crazy, this. There's some crazy stuff in AOS, right? There's some mad stuff in AOS, but this feels like... It feels like it's up there. It definitely feels like it's up there. That's really fun. That is just really fun. Like I don't know how else to properly describe it. That is just a very, very fun miniature. It's also not really, I suppose it is still miniature, but you know what I mean. It's pretty sizable. Yeah, that's it's silly, but in the best way. Oh, I do like the pose as well. The pose of the actually, is it a manticore? Isn't it? Isn't it a chimera that's like a mix of that's a mix of like lion, eagle, and scorpion. What am I thinking of? No, it's not resin. Don't even joke. Don't even joke. Wow, doing a quick Google image search for manticore was not helpful. Although a lot of them seem to have like leathery bat wings as opposed to eagle wings, which is an interesting distinction. Yeah, manticore, scorpion tail. Chimera. Oh no, because chimera is like, what is it, like lion, goat, fish? I don't know. So I'm thinking of yeah, no, I'm thinking of a chimera. I don't think chimera does have a fish in it, but chimera is lion, goat, snake. What's the thing with multiple heads that's got different heads on it? Where are we even going? What is this tangent? What are we doing? The weapons were taken from corrupt government officials she executed. Is that how are we gonna follow suit with that? Definitely Finecast. Shut up, it's only Finecast. Yeah, overall this is great. This is great. The pose is really nice. It's super commanding. The expression on the lion is great. I like the way that you can clearly see the armor on the front as well. The armor is nice and blocky, but also super ornate. The kind of toned out sections at the bottom are cool. There being cloth on the lion is fantastic. Keep saying lion. The manticore. It's got a lion's face. What do you want from me? It's looking at me. I'm looking at a lion's face. Leave me alone. Yeah, I really like the way they've done the wings. The wings are sculpted really nicely. It feels like it's just landed. And it is technically on kind of, sort of, a bit of like a tactical rock. But it's like tactical ruins. Tactical ruins I'm a lot happier with. The scorpion tail looks really menacing. The way that they've got it out to the side, I'm assuming that from, like, if you're doing it like viewing it head on like we are now, yeah, you can just see the scorpion tail around the side, which I like that a lot. Makes it look super threatening. And the silhouette is mad, but I don't know. I don't think it looks like completely unreasonable. I think it actually looks. It looks very over the top. Yeah, it's extremely like exaggerated. That big old throne she's got going on there, but it doesn't spoil anything. It doesn't get in the way of anything. It doesn't. Like, I believe this thing could fly with that on it. I mean, look at it. Like, I feel it looks like that thing could carry quite a lot and not care, just out of pure anger alone. I'm not even sure that it's got the aerodynamics to fly. I think it's just permanently enraged, and the rage allows it to levitate. That's what it looks like to me. That's solid. That is solid. Love it. Absolutely love it. Extremely silly. 10 out of 10. Yeah, I like that a lot. Mainly surprised they just called it a manticore. What happened to the IP safe rebrand? That's... I mean, actually, you know what? That's... Oh, no, manticore... They don't... I don't think they care about that. I don't think they're going to care when it comes to manticore. Manticore is, like, so old and generic and generalised that I don't think that anyone can, like, claim that. So I don't think that's something they need to worry about. It's, like... It's the same with, like D&D and Wizards of the Coast and stuff. Like, there's loads of stuff in there that is just, like, a ghoul. You can't copyright ghoul. It's just not something you can do. And I think Manticore is one of those ones where they're just not that fussed about it, because they could give it a crazy name, but everyone already knows what it is, and it's not like someone can take Manticore away from them, because it's used everywhere. It's just the name of a mythical creature, and they've made a representation of that mythical creature. So there's like a big long list of stuff that it's super interesting for like D&D, where there are things that you can't technically use because Wizards owns it, but then a huge amount of stuff that's in like the Monster Manual and stuff, it's just basically generic names, just normal names that we already know of. You know, I mean, if anyone tried to copyright claim or, you know, register zombie or something, it's not something that anyone's going to try and do, I don't think. The interesting thing with that, though, Canoness, is that Games Workshop did a... I'm going to try and find it. There was an article, a week, ages ago, where they just did like a dragon week or something. I can't remember what they called it, but it was literally just like, here's a bunch of dragons. Yeah. So like, there we go. Example straight off the bat. I managed to find it straight away. I'm super impressed with myself here. So 26th of July 2021, dragons are back and they're going to change the mortal realms forever. I mean, they just straight up link to black dragons, and you can go right here and find a zombie dragon or a vampire lord on zombie dragon. And even when it comes to, like, I know they called, like, this the Star Drake or whatever. But, yeah, like, they already use that. They already use generic names for stuff. So, it doesn't really surprise me that they're just calling it a manticore. We do have things, you know, like, Krondis is a dragon, but they haven't called him a dragon when it comes to his actual unit name. But he's also just in an article that directly says, look at this dragon. And in fact, right there, when a dragon spends too long in the realm of beasts, though, it's just like, here's Karazai the Scarred. And then in the article, it's just, yeah, it's dragon in it. So yeah, when it comes to just like generic names, for the most part, they don't bother with it, I don't think. At least I haven't really noticed it that much. When it comes to like, I guess that's too much of a generalization. When it comes to things like dragons, now manticores and all that sort of thing, it's, what are you going to do? You can try and copyright proof everything, but it's not necessarily something that you need to do for some stuff. Karazai the Beast mode. Jesus Christ. It's mostly just the names of armies that they've tried to do copyright stuff with. Things like Soulblight Gravelords, where it's a faction name and it's something that they came up with and it doesn't exist outside of that. But then within Soulblight Gravelords, you can buy the White King on Skeletal Steed. And last time I checked, White Kings, Skeletals, or Steeds are all things that are just in common use words. Even just like generic stuff like a Blood Knight. Like, factions are like specific and enforceable and things that they have directly created, but unit names is just whatever. Yeah, exactly, Razor. I mean, that's the one that really always gets me when it comes to the juxtaposition between the Soulblight Gravelords. This is a thing what we've done. We've made this so that it is its own unique thing. Oh, cool. What's one of the main choices that I could have to lead my Soulblight Gravelords? Well, you could have a Vampire Lord. It kind of summarises the whole thing, really, doesn't it? And again, that none of that is like a criticism, but yeah, it's just how they work. I think it's just mostly how stuff works more than anything else. You want to protect the things that are entirely yours and your faction names and whatever, but a lot of the stuff you're going to be producing also needs to be approachable and sensible with how it's named, so that people know what they're looking for and can do stuff with, and aren't going to be sat there going, okay, well, I don't understand what this unit is, when really it is just a Vampire Lord, but they don't want to call it a Vampire Lord for whatever reason. So, did they call the Auric Bog Hog? The Auric Bog Hog! Hang on a second, let me just find... Jesus Christ. The Bog Hog. What? Wait, you're going to have to tell me what... what specific thing? Yeah. I don't even know what I'm looking for, but I feel like I should. Actually, it is interesting looking at the Auric side of things, because there's all sorts of mad stuff in there. Like, obviously, Troggoths. Like, Troggoths, I think, are a GW name. But then there's things like brutes. It's just such like a mad mix of just random stuff. Just random stuff. I don't really in some cases it's like they've gone overboard on trying to be like protective of their thing, and then in other ones it's just whatever. Like the Auric War Clans being a good example, where there's so much stuff in there that is just nonsense, like Headrackers Mad Mob, Manskewer Bolt Boys, Hobgrot Slitters, the Cruelboys Boss Crew, Gut Rippers, Marsh Crawler Slogoth. It's like it's all like very, very specific, very distinct to Games Workshop. But then you look at Soulblight Gravelords, and you have a White King on a skeletal steed, or a Vampire Lord, or a Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon, and it's all just stuff that is like, yeah, those are just normal words. It's just all normal words you got right there. Direwolves, Blood Knights, Karn Wraith, again, like, just, that's just a thing. It seems to very much depend on whether it's something that is easily kind of made their own, or whether it's something that needs to be more generic, because that's, in some cases, it is just generic, isn't it? So it's not necessarily consistent. It's not necessarily consistent. And they did make a bit of an effort with some of the Flesh Eater stuff, like the more recent stuff. And by more recent stuff, I mean like the one thing they've released recently. But I think it's just, honestly, I think it's just unavoidable. So where they can give things mad names that make sense for the faction, they'll give things mad names that make sense for the faction. But where they can't, they just don't do it, because, yeah, for every Primaris Infernus squad, there's a Vampire Knight. Yeah. Some of them are holdovers from fantasy, that's true, but then again, there's also like stuff that has had a big change since then. Like the Soulblight Gravelords had quite the refresh. New Blood Knights, new Direwolves, We had new Graveguard, I think it was. Did we have new Graveguard? No, not new Graveguard. It was... I forget the name of them. Oh no, yeah, the Death Rattle Skeletons. That's what they rename. That's what they've got new versions of. See you later, Ogren Mod. Thank you very much for watching. This was very rambly, wasn't it? Yeah, like Death Rattle Skeletons got a refresh, which were previously just Skeleton Warriors, I believe. I've got a box over here somewhere. Where are they? Oh god, have I lost them? I think they were just Skeleton Warriors, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But then, you know, they did new zombies, and they called them Dead Walker Zombies. It's still just got the... It's just still got zombies. Just zombies. Like, they can't really change that necessarily that much. I mean, they could maybe want to. They could do it if they wanted to, but they didn't. Again, things like Fell Bats, not unique. New and not unique. The big ones are things like the Vampire Lord and the White King and stuff and the Blood Knights, because that's stuff that could be changed. They could have changed the name and they could have done that. But, yeah, it's just interesting. It's interesting how different it is depending on the army. I mean, the whole thing with like Stormcast and stuff, there's lots of interesting names, but a lot of them are very quite generic. Like Annihilators is super generic. Super generic. And it's interesting and kind of funny that some of the stuff that there's like overlap between AOS and 40k when it comes to names. It feels like there shouldn't be, but there is. Yeah, I mean, so I don't actually know that I still don't know that I like the name Seraphon. Lizardmen is very generic and very kind of, it could be from any game at all. But then again, like they're lizardmen, aren't they? They're lizardmen. Find it very interesting that all the factions that got announced for Old World Round 1 exclude all the ranges that got refreshed in AOS. Yeah. Oh, that's true, yeah. Poxwalkers were just plague zombies. You know what? Here's a question. Where was Lord of the Rings? for the no Warhammer 40k preview. Where was Lord of the Rings? Where was it? Because, I mean, I feel like surely they've got to have something on the go, right? They've got to have something on the go for Lord of the Rings. They must have. They must have. That's made me laugh. I just went to that. If you expand Hobbit miniatures, I'd imagine it was it for Lord of the Rings as well. Show all evil. Show all evil. We're going to look at all evil. All of it. All the evil. That's true. There was no Necromunda or Blood Bowl either. I feel like we get such a regular showing for Blood Bowl. I don't know how they'd have anything to show off on a special preview, to be honest. We get new Blood Bowl stuff every other week. Which again, not a complaint. Same for Necromunda. So many Necromunda releases, and it's all little characters. They've got to have something though. They've got to have something in the background for Lord of the Rings. Surely. Unless they really haven't. Brought out those box sets for an army in a box. This is still this is still one of my favourite things I've ever made. Just the size of him. The size of the lad. The absolute... I remember, right? I remember going to Warhammer World once, and there was a Lord of the Rings tournament going on the same day. And if I remember correctly, one dude showed up, and he just put Smaug down. That was it. He just put him down, and I think that was his whole army. I don't necessarily know how points, like what the sort of points allowance is for Lord of the Rings, like whether it's a 2,000 point game, competitive or whatever, whether it's 1,000 or 3,000 or whatever. But I'm pretty sure he just had this model on the table and nothing else, and it made me laugh. I was just like, hell yeah, that's great. That's awesome. I mean, what a move. What a move. We're going to play a cheeky game of Lord of the Rings. Okay. Here he is. Done. Isn't he resin as well? Isn't he? Is he resin? Yep. 42 piece miniatures, hand cast using the highest quality resin. Oh, God. I wonder how much time it took to gap fill that. It's got to be up there, right? It's got to be up there. Ooh, My Mini Factory. Just got a message from My Mini Factory saying that I've just been invited to the latest thing that Bestiara Miniatures has done, and now I want to know what it was. Let's have a. I'm gonna have a quick look. I'm gonna have a quick glance. It's got to weigh a ton, a regulator. This thing, it has to. You could, I would imagine, kill someone. You could kill someone with Smaug. I'm pretty sure. Also, £420. 420 quid. Oh my God. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Oh, this is alarmingly normal. That's alarmingly normal. Ugh. I really thought that was going to be a bit more mad off BCR Miniatures. Normally they send me an email saying my STLs are ready, and I take one look at them and go, what the hell is this? That was actually pretty regular. Although, I missed these. The Dark Forest. Okay, this has gone completely off topic, but now I just want to take a quick look at this, right? And then I'm going to have to go. I'm getting really hungry. So we've got the Old Blacksmith. We've got Bays, Mendicant Friar, a Crazed Scyther, Domamov, who looks like Dobby for some reason, a Mad Woodcutter, the Village Hag, that is grim, Chort, and Kikimora and Baphomet. Okay. I mean, that's pretty on par. Pretty on par for Bestiara Miniatures. Love it though. Always do. Oh, he's got a severed leg. Nice. I've got an old metal Chaos Dreadnought. You could absolutely kill someone with that. Easily, I would suggest. Oh, the skin's all like... Ugh. Oh, he's got hooves on the arms as well. That's pretty grim. No trousers as well. I mean, that is totally just... That is just a hag for D&D. 100%. Oh, there's kids in her bag. Nice. Nice. Very much an actual hag in D&D. There are children in her sack. Okay. Well, she's going to show up in a campaign in the future. That's a fun sculpt. That's cool. That's mad. I love these. I just love bestiarian miniatures. They're just so good. Just so good all the time. Yeah, those are also pretty gross. Nothing... You know what, though? Like, those are good. But the thing is, they hit like a... Not like a peak, but they hit a definite high when... What is all of this? Do I even have these? Surely I do. Or have I missed an email? Surely I've got these lads. Because these look horrendous as well. It's just basically... Whenever I see what they're doing, it's like, how awful is it? Oh, it's just as awful as last time. Excellent. I am in. Yeah, okay, I do have access to these. That's good. But, like, what is happening here? Voice of Lords. It's just holding skin. Just horrible skin. More covered in skin. There's so much horrible... I mean, it just looks like some Hellraiser stuff. Wait, am I thinking Hellraiser? I'm not sure what I'm thinking now. I'm mostly thinking that I have things I need to print looking at all of these. Ooh, that looks very Elden Ring, doesn't it? That looks like Roman soldier Elden Ring. Pretty much is just Godric the Grafted. Okay. That lad's going to have to make an appearance as well. I got super distracted there. Apologies. See you later, Des. Thank you for joining us. Right. You lot. I'm going to go and have something to eat before I pass out. I am mega hungry. It's also lunchtime, which I think is fair. That got massively off topic multiple times, as we are wont to do. So, yeah. Thank you for joining me this Monday morning. I need to sleep, I think. You know what? I agree. I also need to sleep. Yeah, thank you for joining me for this this slightly more structured, but only slightly, Monday Ramble. We will do this again on Friday. We won't do the Monday Ramble again on Friday, because that'd be silly, because it'd be Friday, not Monday. You know what I mean? There's going to be a bunch of videos throughout the week. So, yeah, I think that's it. What a terrible outro. I'm usually better at this. That's a lie. I'm not.